Hey guys, it's your boy M.K.S here, back in another video. Hope you enjoy it. I'm just going to check I'm live on Facebook as well at the same time, which I am. This will go quite quickly. Hope you enjoy it. I'll do my best to entertain people out there. I know I do struggle with that, but anyway, welcome to part one of A.D.H.D. Tuesdays. As I put the right title in, sometimes I forget what day it is or whatever, but as I said in previous videos, I don't know. I've not been diagnosed with ADHD. I just thought I'd do a project to support fellow atypical people, neurodivergent people, or whatever term you want to use. So yeah, these are my ideas for empowering, even ADHD people, A.D.H.D.ers on Tuesdays. As ever, if you have any ideas of your own, please let me know in the comments. As ever, these are pointers 1 to 10, and here goes. So number one, from a selfish point of view, I'd love to see what A.D.H.D.ers can contribute to Italian football teams, including teams like Inter Milan, Torino, Roma, and Italian football generally. Also, I'd love to support A.D.H.D.ers in business somehow. I know I don't have them. I've got to admit, I don't have any skills or talents, but I do have a lot of ideas. I'd love for people to get involved in discussing like what are the best ways to support A.D.H.D.ers in business and to celebrate historical and contemporary. That's a big word for me, or current. I think that's what that means. A.D.H.D.ers in business, entrepreneurship, enterprise, or whatever you want to call it. I use those terms interchangeably. So how can they be inspired and supported with like funding, information, and just general support and that kind of thing, like networks and things like which I hope to come to in more details. Number two, also A.D.H.D.ers in banking, how to support A.D.H.D.ers in banking, and how can banks and other institutions, organisations, associations, and whatnot support A.D.H.D.ers, like how can businesses support them with funding or things like that. And listening to A.D.H.D.ers and how can they network together. Number three, A.D.H.D.ers in tech. So I thought there's the BBC, which for those who don't know, I was going to say obviously, but for those who don't know, it's not obvious, obviously. But the BBC stands for British Broadcasting Corporation, and I thought in this case it could be the BBT. So business, banking, and tech. So in this case, A.D.H.D.ers in business, banking, and tech. And that kind of thing. Number four, A.D.H.D.ers networking together and supporting, having support networks and networking together in business and that kind of thing. And again, looking at how institutions and organisations like banking and whatnot can support can support A.D.H.D.ers and like businesses, governments, and as well as corporations like governments, councils, and whatnot. Like maybe there could be tax cuts or even tax exemptions for A.D.H.D.ers, and maybe even like the more richer A.D.H.D.ers could be supported with tax cuts if they support their fellow A.D.H.D.ers. Companies could be given tax cuts for supporting A.D.H.D.ers. Number five, I'd love to support A.D.H.D.ers with their aims and ambitions. I think I meant to say point before, but I forgot. There's things I keep forgetting. One thing I think of saying, because of my patterns, I think of saying, like, as a side note, I know this is not specifically to do with A.D.H.D., but in point number 4 and point number 8 and 18, possibly 23, 28, 27 and 28 and 31, I think I'm saying, like, in spite of the fact that God lets me down on a daily basis, I still love them with all my might, heart, soul, and strength, at least for now, anyway. I know the saying, love's not supposed to be conditional, but I'm in a more generous mood. I feel really cold. I don't know why, but I don't think it is cold. But for some reason, my back is always cold, even if I'm sweating or whatever. My body gets itchy because of the heat. Honestly, some parts of my body get itchy. But, sorry, that might be too much info. But yeah, I'm going way off track. But sorry, maybe I do have ADHD after all. Although I do wish I had more energy. But yeah, I'd say, sorry, going back to that point, I'd love to, as it's nice blue skies here in the UK at the moment. It was raining a bit yesterday. I thought we were going to have a thunderstorm, but I don't think we had a thunderstorm yesterday, but I'm surprised we didn't, considering it was quite warm and then we had a thunderstorm. But I'm always cold, and my family has told me you can't wear any layers. But could be an autistic sort of thing with sensory issues. Also have quite a weak sense of smell, which is probably a blessing. Sometimes it's a blessing, and sometimes it's a curse, just like atypical conditions. But or neurodivergent conditions, I'll say, whatever you want to call them. But yeah, I love to support ADHDers with their ambitions and aims, for instance, things I like. I really appreciate that. Sometimes I do get nervous when I make videos. I think I hope they make sense. Or if I see like I get a certain amount of viewers and then they leave, I'm like, oh, did I bore someone? Did I offend them or whatever, or people or whatever, in the plural. But yeah, I love to support ADHDers with their ambitions. Whether that's on, I normally think of YouTube and TikTok on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So, but yeah, whether that's in business, banking, tech, or whatever careers they want to get into, I support you on YouTube, supporting basically ADHD TikTokers, YouTubers, and whatnot, like how to ADHD and that kind of thing, and supporting ADHDers with their ambitions generally. I'd love to know how would you support ADHDers. So yeah, I'd love to know from ADHDers themselves and parents, guardians, family members, and whatnot. Yeah, moving on to number 6, as I say, from a selfish point of view, I'd love to see what ADHDers can contribute to Italian teams. I'm thinking of Torino because it's, although I'm wearing this cap, I don't have a Torino cap yet, but maybe in the future I will. What ADHDers could contribute to Italian teams, like all Italian teams really, and Serie A, the Coppa Italia, and the Super Cup, with their ideas, creativity, high levels of energy, focus, and that kind of thing. I suppose it stands for obviously attention deficit. I guess that's the areas where people with ADHD don't enjoy them. Don't the areas which ADHD don't enjoy. There's a deficit in that level of focus. But then hyperactivity is and extra focus, I suppose, in the areas which they are passionate about. And I guess there's ADHD with like autism. Like sometimes it can be. I'm sure it's very frustrating. Sometimes I do wonder if I do have ADHD because I can like have a lot of plans, but then I make lots of plans, then I struggle to stick to them or whatever, as someone else put it, about themselves. But yeah, I'd say from a selfish point of view, I'd love to see what ADHDers can contribute to. I normally think of sports when it comes to Saturdays and Sundays and football Fridays and that kind of thing. But yeah, I'd love to see what, I'd say, I'm thinking of Torino because it's a Tuesday. Without wanting to repeat myself too much, but moving on to point number 7, what ADHDers can contribute to Celtic FC as well. Again, with having lots of energy, and I talk about like it could be an outlet for ADHDers who struggle in school to know like what am I good at, what can I focus on, and that kind of thing. So yeah, hopefully with Italian and Celtic, hopefully in Italy and in Glasgow where Celtic's based, ADHDers can get to play football if they're not good at school, or as a reward for good behaviour, that kind of thing maybe. I suppose I mentioned Torino as a mad fan of Italian football more generally, even like Juventus, which means you've giving opportunities like for good. If you have good behaviour, you can get to play football. But I love for Italian teams to do that generally as well. Celtic. Number 8, I was thinking there could be ADHDers got talent. I know there's autistics got talent. There could be ADHDers got talent. I'd also love to hear from ADHDers, as I say, ADHDers and ADHDers especially, and again family members, parents, guardians, teachers, and whatnot, who are interested in ADHD and those who have information. And again, building networks. Also, I think there's a dyslexic advantage, and there could be the ADHD advantage, or even ADHD advantage. Again, given my use of alliteration, something with A. Number 9, I'd love to know what the plans and priorities are for ADHDers, and how they can stick to those plans and be supported, and maybe have like creative and productive rooms and places and spaces to go to write, type, make videos, and things like that. I'd certainly love to have those spaces myself. Again, I said I don't know if I have ADHD or anthropic autism, but a lot of people say I do have autistic traits. But I think I've only been told I might have ADHD once. But yeah, I suppose if I did, I'd probably talk that often. But I do jump from one idea to another or whatever. But Anyway, I'm going to finish on point number 10. As I say, hopefully all those things like ADHD as advantage, um, ADHD being a superpower for business, ADHD is in business, tech, and all those areas, YouTube, TikTok, and other things like that. And what ADHD has got talent. Hopefully, all those things basically will inspire young people with ADHD and supporting young entrepreneurs with ADHD and that kind of thing. Support networks, support networks, even teaching and training young people, taking them under their wing. I suppose you do have to be wary of like child protection at the same time. But yeah, hopefully A.D.H.D.ers will be empowered and all the A.D.H.D.ers as well. On that note, and I am out on that note, and peace and love.